Hello everybody, this is CyberClone Alfie here today with another video. Today we're going to be doing part 2 of Earth versus an Imperial Star Destroyer Mark 1. Now, first I was thinking they're Star Wars, they have superior technology, they have everything extremely better. But I realized a few things. We outnumber them around 1,000,000 to 1. And that's just our troops. We have 27,437,280 troop count. These counts were from a few years ago, because for some reason, countries are not willing to give me their full troop count right now. I have no idea, something about being on the brink of war, don't want to release their top stuff, anyway. Anyway, they're armed with machine guns, rifles, grenades, shotguns, basically whatever else you can think of, they've got it. They got knives. They're not any lacking for weapons. We've got some new experimental hand weapons, such as the explosive bullet, and the self-guided bullet. The self-guided bullet is designed to minimize civilian casualties by directing the bullet while it's in path. It's still not perfected, but it does help. Or will also enable you to get an easier shot off. There's the explosive bullet. There's a special weapon that can fire all these different types of ammo, such as one that drills through a wall and then explodes, and that would save a lot of our troops' lives if we get our hands on a lot of them. Aside from that, we got some body armor capable of dispersing, well, bullets, which might not do much against them, but it might stop us from a couple grenades, maybe? From long range, we'll see. So armor might not be useful, so that's not, because we're going to be fighting energy weapons. So while our armor might not be useful, our weapons most certainly are powerful enough to punch through their armor. Which, although that their armor is strong against bullets, only to a certain caliber. Alright, if that wasn't enough, just because they've got vehicles as well, right? We'd need something to fight them off with them. So we've got 97,568 tanks ready. You know those ones, treads, big cannon, and all that sort of thing? Yeah, those things that you see rolling by sometimes. They are immensely powerful there. One of their shots would probably obliterate a couple stormtroopers easily, especially if they use an explosive shell. Not to mention that they've got a couple, they usually have mounted machine guns and the like, as well as tanks are just getting better in every way as time goes on. We've got over 100,000 armored vehicles, which are like more assault vehicles. They're lighter than tanks, but can still pack quite a punch, especially those ones with the Gatling guns lined up on top of them. Now, military aircraft, including, not including helicopters, are 52,000. We'd be able to certainly shoot their tires out of the sky with that, right? And like their surface-to-air missiles, their TIE fighters only have line-of-sight weapons. We can hit them from anywhere. We've got missiles, Gatling guns, bombs, so for bombing runs, and TIE fighters are sluggish in atmosphere, whereas ours are designed specifically to outperform all other militaries in atmosphere. Now, we're moving on to some experimental weapon here, rail cannons. They are, well, more science fiction than reality until more recently. In 2005, they began the development of them, but more recently they've had more and more up and running. The power requirements are absurd, probably more than some small cities. They are undisclosed locations right now, because who would tell them where your ultra weapon is? There's a few Navy ships that we've got with them. Not many no land vehicles, a couple land bases, but not really anything of worth. They can only fire around 1,000 shots before having to replace the barrel, which I know, like, that sounds a lot, but in the heat of battle, you can run out of that much very quickly. They shoot, I believe it is 3-pound metal, well, I'm going to say, like, cones. They are specifically designed to reduce airflow. They fire them at Mach 6 and can go up to a range of 100 miles. It has the energy of 32 megajoule, and it'd feel like you got hit with something that's 23,601,988 per square inch crushing force. So I think with those, we might even be able to take out the AT-ATs that come nearby. I mean, who knows? They might be able to withstand it, but I think that we'd be able to knock out their AT-ATs. If that wasn't enough, as a last resort, we could send 14,900 nukes their way. I think that would deal with them. If that doesn't, well, by that time we're doomed anyway. The only thing I think we might have a problem with is the Star Destroyer. It's a bit too high, and even if their commanders were silly enough to bring it down, their point defense combined with their shields are quite formidable. Their Star Wars bombs have a much higher yield magnitude than ours. Nukes would be around the same as, say... The nukes would be higher yield than proton torpedoes, which can be used to take them out, but to take them out, they often had to fire around 60, and they all got through the point defense because they lack point defense. They lack much point defense, but they could always just take them out as they're launching with the sophisticated equipment. Anyway, I think we might actually stand a chance as long as the Star Destroyer doesn't interrupt and bombard us from orbit. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. I shall see you all next time. Hello everybody, this is CyberClone Alfie,